and that is the return of Kenny Omega, because this all plays in together. So, as I mentioned, Kenny Omega was previously fired from the Elite. However, of course, he's still part of AEW, he's still an EVP, but he came out and actually cut this promo that, because we haven't heard too much about what Kenny has really been going through. I mean, so many of us, including myself, like heard of diverticulitis for the first time ever because Kenny Omega got it. And
Mhm.
I didn't really know too much about it. I did the research, did the Google search when it happened, but I did not realize how severe it can get. And so Kenny basically said that his doctor said that he was one of the lucky ones. Like he could have died in the next 24 hours. And I'm like, dude, how do you go from like 1 second you're fine, the next second you're feeling pain, and then the next second people are saying there's a possibility you can die? Like that's terrifying. So he basically talked about being gone from wrestling and sort of being afraid because of what the doctors had said to him. And he put over the talent, he put over Swerve, he put over Will, he put over Brian for all of the work that they have been doing, and kind of mentioning that he was like shaking, right? Whenever he would see anything from AEW or anything in regards to pro wrestling. And then he went and said the reason why he was shaking was withdrawals. And he basically said that he is not going to leave wrestling anytime soon. And he's not like, from the looks of it, he's definitely not cleared. He did
Mhm.
get brutally attacked by the Elite, though. We got a confrontation with him and Okada. We all know the history there. And he even said, give me a couple of months and we can sort of rehash this once again. But he was attacked by Jack Perry, attacked by the Elite. Just when you thought this was over, the man's being carried out in a stretcher and once again is attacked.
This was an emotional roller coaster, Denise. Yeah, like you, I didn't really know much about Kenny Omega. We haven't heard a lot. It's been kind of a mystery. There's like they announced he had diverticulitis. Brock Lesnar previously had diverticulitis that like pretty much ended his UFC career. So I knew that like if that could take out Brock Lesnar, then like Kenny Omega is screwed. So when I heard about that, I was like, I don't know. And then this promo tonight, I'm like, don't be doing this. Like, don't like it feels like a retirement speech. So I was nervous for a little bit of it. So Denise, he's like, yo, one brutal hit to the stomach and I'm dead. And then he goes and does a bunch of spots. And I'm like, see, this is why him and Brian Danielson, I don't like y'all fools because y'all set us up really good. And then you do stuff like this. And we're like, no, dude. But like, that's the point. But like, why tell us you could die, Denise, and then do spots that make us think you're going to die?
But that's the thing, though, is that there's truth to that. There's truth to all of it. And so then it bleeds into the story and it makes it better. And it's like, oh, hey, let's hit Kenny in the gut with a chair. That's what we got. And
Yeah.
it's like you're sitting there and you're going, oh my God, this dude could have died. And here he is taking a freaking shot to the gut with the chair.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it real? Could like, what if there was an accident and he died right here on TV? That would be crazy. But I'm like, I don't know exactly what's going on here. But they pulled on the heartstrings a lot, Denise. They teased Kenny Omega and Okada, the stare down. This is something that we've dreamed about for all the years that AEW has existed. To get that stare down and Kenny to be like, hey, this is a possibility in an AEW ring. That's all I really needed. Again, everything else was kind of a cherry on top for that.
Right, but the way that Kenny Omega said that he could die and all of this stuff, it made me feel it how I always feel when wrestlers get like severely injured or you don't know whether or not they're going to come back. Everyone has different circumstances, right? But the way that I always feel, it's like I'm happy that you feel you can come back, but at the same time, we've seen what happens to wrestlers. I mean, God, just even today, Taz,
Yeah.
Taz, there was a story out there that he's going to have both his knees replaced and his shoulders replaced. And you see all of these wrestlers now that, from the earlier years and where they sort of ended up. So when you're watching, you're like, yeah, I'm so happy he's going to come back. And I'm clearly selfish and want to see Kenny Omega come back. But then part of me is like, oh, like this is still like something serious where I'm not really sure. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what this means. Are you risking it? Like, how much are you risking it? Like, whoa, like, what's the level of risk here, right?
Totally. Yeah, it feels like is our fandom bigger than like your health? Like you coming back for however many more matches, is that worth it? And wrestlers like Taz, wrestlers from his generation that now have struggles. Kurt Angle can't even. I saw Kurt Angle at a con like that, Denise, and he can't turn his neck. He's like, huh? He has to like turn his whole body. Like there's a bunch of wrestlers that are in that position. It's like we don't want Kenny Omega to be there too. Like, so is this a good idea? But then he goes and does what he did in there. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Right. I mean, like even Kurt Angle, for example, even when people thought Kurt Angle was done and like he couldn't do anything anymore, he still went out there and had some phenomenal matches. And it just goes to
Sicko.
show that it goes to show, I mean, one, when people really love something, you can't tear them away from it because it's their passion. I mean, look at The Undertaker. Remember when we watched his documentary? Dude could barely walk. He's going around in a golf cart. He can't even walk. And he goes out there and has a whole match. He's getting like injections right before the match. And it's crazy.
Sick.
You and I, and everybody here watching, it's a little bit harder for us to comprehend, especially if you're not an athlete. But when you're an athlete, when you're a performer and it's who you are, it's what you do, it's so hard to take you and rip you away from that.
Yeah, there's something like it feels like some wrestlers go to their doctors and no matter what that doctor says, they're gonna wrestle anyways. The doctor could be like, yo, if you walk out in an arena and a bunch of people yell and you might die from that, and they're like, I'm taking a chance, doc. This is pro wrestling. I gotta do what I gotta do. Especially somebody who's so passionate and so ingrained in not only pro wrestling, but this company, Denise. Like when he's talking about feeling withdrawals, like because he's supposed to be there. He's supposed to be in these main events. He's supposed to be at all the pay-per-views. So I understand how he feels, but like if you can't, dude, you don't have to. You did it. You already have a 7-star match. Nobody ever did it, dude. You won.
It broke my heart though when he said that we were all talking because he was talking about the roster. We were all talking about these big names, right? We're talking about Will, we're talking about Brian, we're talking about Okada. And he says, I feel like you guys forgot me.
Mm,
And I'm thinking, oh my God. I don't think we forgot him. Maybe
nah,
we weren't mentioning his name, but the only reason is because we knew that he was out.
nah.
But that's got to mess with your psyche, especially when you are the Kenny Omega, like you said, having 7-star matches and is a huge reason why we even have this company to begin with, and you're seeing everything that's flourished from that, and then you don't get to be a part of it. Like that sucks, man. So I mean, I'm obviously feeling good that he's feeling good that he's going to come back, and I'm hopeful for the best. I'm an optimist, so I hope it all works out. The other thing that I do want to mention though is based on the attack, I think that is buying him more time
Mhm.
to be out of action. Like I'm not expecting him at Double or Nothing. I'm not expecting him at God, what's next? What is it? Forbidden Door?
Yeah, after
Yeah,
that.
Forbidden Door. Not expecting him for like the next few pay-per-views. And I feel like this was just, hey, I'm here. I'm in Canada. You haven't heard from me for a while. I'm gonna come out, put these guys over too with their storyline that they're doing, and then hey, I'm gonna still be gone for a bit.
This was honestly probably perfect timing too for the angle with Tony Khan being out and the Young Bucks taking over, them randomly being in Canada and Kenny Omega being able to be like, here's my part in it. This is the role that I can play and I'm going to play. So I thought this was great. Kenny Omega, just get well soon, dude. That's it.
Yeah, seriously, get well soon. Hoping for the best for Kenny, and I hope that all the stars align and we do get to see Kenny go out there and have bangers, but then also have his health. So we're asking for a lot, but damn. All right, so that's sort of like the main picture with all of this sort of like encompassing each other. And we're also, I think we're still getting the Team Elite, Team AEW situation, especially with FTR going in there and helping out Kenny Omega. Now, FTR, I mean, they already have this whole history with the Young Bucks. They have all of everything, right? But now this sort of reconnects them back into the story, saying, like, dude, we're pissed. Not only did you take out Tony Khan, but now you took out Kenny Omega. You attacked us, and we couldn't do anything about it. So I feel like we're starting to see this anarchy in the arena situation start to shape up. So as of right now, we still don't know who that could be. So clearly, you have the elites. You got 4 guys there, and you have possibly FTR. So you're still looking for a few more guys to fill that out. If you enjoyed the clip that you just saw from my podcast, you can check out the full episode by clicking here on the screen. And for more pro wrestling content, please do not forget to click that subscribe button.